look at the different ones to see what is going to be the best fit for you. I just send them the link. I let them know I'm gonna send you a secured link through Jobber for you to add your card on file. It's kind of hard for me to explain it, but depending on when they decide they're going to come back, that's going to base what their price is going to be. So that would be my suggestion, is figure out how large the green space is. What's up, Scoop Podcast? I'm your host, Erica Crouppen, and on today's Wednesday Q&A episode, I'm going to be answering your questions. We're going to cover why I still have unpaid invoices, commercial property pricing, yard disinfecting after scooping, when to invest into a CRM like Jobber, missed subscription payments and late fees, getting cards info securely into Jobber, my microphone setup, and do I want to scale big like Swoop Scoop? So if you are interested in hearing all about that, stay tuned. But before we hop into today's episode, ooh, you guys, your girl, me, I am beat. Today is Tuesday. I got home yesterday from the ScoopCon convention in Coeur d'Alene, Idaho. I had such an amazing time. I just feel like it went by so quick and there just was not enough time to talk to everybody. And I'm going through my footage and I'm like, oh, I didn't get an interview with this person. I didn't get a picture with this person. And I'm seeing everything being posted on social media and I'm like, dang. So I'm just replaying the last few days over in my head. And I'm incredibly grateful for the opportunity that I had. I'm incredibly grateful for the conversations that I was able to have. You all are amazing. You truly are, and I'm so incredibly proud of you that you showed up for yourself. You came to ScoopCon. I'm hoping that you learned so much valuable information, not only from the speakers, but in those little nooks and crannies when people were getting coffee and you're going to the bathroom and you're hanging at the hotel room or at the bar. There was this bar called Whispers where a lot of people were hanging out at. I'm just super excited. And if any of you have pictures of you and I, please tag me on Instagram. And specifically, if you have any photos of me with my eyes open, that would be great. I would love those. Because as I'm looking through pictures, I have my eyes closed in a lot of photos. And fun fact about me, this is a frequent thing. This is a frequent issue in my picture taking career. That's the reason why I take a lot of video. That way I could just screenshot a photo of myself. But all jokes aside, it was such a great time. I am a little bit tired. If you're watching the video, I do look tired because I am, but the show must go on. I have a lot of stuff to do. I have so much footage to upload. I want to get this to my editor so I can start cranking this content out. A big shout out to William and Levi from Swoop Scoop and Poop Scoop Millionaire. You guys put on such an amazing event. Your whole entire team was amazing. Samantha, Joshua, Amanda, you guys killed it. You truly made things run so incredibly smooth so us speakers could just focus on what we needed to speak on. My slides were messed up and I messaged Samantha and she just handled it. She was like, I got it, don't worry about it. So that's something I didn't even need to think about so I could focus. And that is such a huge eye opener to me as a business owner, where it's like you have to have the people in place to take care of the things that need to be taken care of so us as business owners, we can focus on what's truly important. And like, I know this stuff, but seeing it in action, seeing it play out, it's just confirmation that we got to grow our businesses. We have to scale our businesses so we as owners and operators can really focus on what's going to move us forward in business. Stay tuned. There's going to be a ton of footage coming out. I was able to get, I could only get 2 full-length podcast episodes in during this time, which I'm very grateful I was even able to get those, but I was able to get man on the street interviews, which are super awesome. So after I'm done with this, I'm gonna work on getting those uploaded because they are some fat, hefty files. So let's get into this episode. The first question is, dun, 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 why do I still have unpaid invoices? This comes from Pain in the Grass Pet Waste Removal. He says, am I still post-pay? No, actually, I am prepay. All of my invoicing is done on the 1st of every month. And not everybody's card goes through all the time. For the most part, I would have to say like 90% of everybody's payment goes through, but then there's stragglers. Usually by the 3rd of every month, I'm pausing their service, but sometimes it doesn't happen that way. I say I'm going to pause it and then I don't, or they reach out to me and they say, hey, I don't get paid till Friday. Is it okay if I pay you? And then I say, okay, that's fine. And then from there, what I should do is I should go in and adjust the date from that day to the Friday, but sometimes I don't do that. There's inconsistencies on my end. Be super transparent. When I had my virtual assistants, they were very much so on top of this and they made sure to handle it. I didn't have to worry about it. I didn't have to think about it, but I don't have the virtual assistants right now because I was, I needed to make some changes in my business. So now all that is riding on me, and that's something that I need to tighten up a little bit. So that's the reason why I have unpaid invoices. 1, because the customers didn't pay, and 2, I got a little too lenient and a little too lax. But it doesn't happen all the time. It's few and far between. Yeah. Thank you for your question. Pricing commercial properties. How do I price for a commercial space like a business or apartment complex with unclear dog count and large areas? So what I do is I figure out how much green space there is and I measure that out. And then I would either price like per acre, or I would do a time. So I'm like, okay, this property is an acre. If it's a initial clean, if it's a first time that we're going to do that, I'm gonna price it for a seasonal clean, which is gonna be $130 to $160 per acre. Because we can usually get that done in like an hour, maybe a little bit over an hour. So I price it for that. If it is going to be like a weekly reoccurring service, let's just say at a minimum, I'm charging $1 a minute. So I think that is going to take me 60 minutes. So I'm going to charge it $60. For some reason, I don't know if it's just the brain fog or what, but I can't think of what I charge per acre for green space scooping, because I don't do a ton of green space scooping for commercial property. It's mainly just the dog waste stations that we service regularly. I do have one area or one that I'm charging, and I charge $50 for it, and it's about a half acre. So it's $50. Every single time we go, we scoop that property. And there's an undisclosed amount of undisclosed amount of dogs because it's a cancer center for dogs. So dogs just come and go, but it's really not that bad. I mean, it doesn't take a long time to scoop it. So that would be my suggestion, is figure out how large the green space is, figure out how many acreages it is, and then you can either do it by time, how long you think it's going to take you, or you can do it by space. So if you want to do, let's say it's $60 per acre and it's a half an acre, then you charge $30. I think that's a little bit light for commercial property, so I would bump that up. You could do like $1.50 or $2 per acre, and then divide that out depending on how large the actual property is. I hope that helps. Yard disinfectants after scooping. What do most scoopers use to disinfect yards after scooping? I can't say that most scoopers are disinfecting yards after they scoop. Offering a disinfectant, you're now going into like there's like legal stuff when you're saying disinfectant, because there's a lot of rules and regulations. I would say there's a lot of scoopers that are doing deodorizer on the property. The main ones I know is Wizzy Wash, Easy Clean, and those are the only 2 that I know off the top of my head. I don't personally do yard deodorizing yet. Every year I buy the stuff and I'm like, I'm gonna do it. And then I just don't do it because I haven't. I did meet a gentleman at ScoopCon that actually is developing, or not developing, he already has a yard deodorizer. So him and I need to reach out to him and we're gonna have a conversation. 1, I wanna have him on the podcast, and 2, I wanna know more about his deodorizer and what the scent is and what the whole process is like. But from his presentation, it seems like it's a pretty good upcharge. It seems like the customers will get value from it, and it's something good to add to the business. But I, off the top of my head, cannot think of what the name of it is. Brain fog is real right now. But one thing I did want to add with this is, with the yard deodorizer, you could offer this as like a complimentary service, or you could add this as an upcharge. You could add this as like an incentive to get somebody to sign up with you, or as an incentive to get somebody to prepay, maybe do like quarterly billing. That's something that was talked about at ScoopCon, was quarterly billing. This could be a nice little incentive. Aside from like 10% off your bill, you can get a complimentary yard deodorizer. So this is a good thing to offer. You can play around with it, and I think you can have a lot of fun with it, and there's gonna be a lot of opportunity within the business. Should I get a CRM in the early stages or wait until I'm more established? I think you should get it as soon as possible, and here's why. I think when you get in business, or you do anything, right, you start developing habits, you start developing routines. So if you are doing your billing and you're doing your invoicing and you're doing things a certain kind of way, transitioning over to a CRM when you have customers on board and then you have to relearn how to do stuff, it takes more time and it takes more energy. So what I would suggest is either whatever CRM you decide that you want to use. I use Jabber. I know a lot of people want to know why I went with Jabber and why I went with Jabber over Swoop and Go. I decided to use Jabber. This was probably 4.5 years ago, 5 years ago at this point. Swoop and Go was a very new company at that time. It was much different back then versus what it is now. I've heard lots of good things about Swoop and Go. So if you are entertaining the idea, look into it. Look into Swoop and Go and see if it's the right fit for you. And please don't go with Jabber just because I'm using Jabber. I had my own reasons of why I went with it. I liked Jabber. I still like Jabber. It has its issues. Don't get me wrong. It's not the perfect CRM, but it does what it needs to do for me. So I always recommend look at the different ones to see what is going to be the best fit for you. But I definitely recommend you getting in there as soon as possible, because in that way you're able to build up your client lists. It takes time to learn the system. It takes time to understand it and feel comfortable with it. And then also you're getting your customers used to it. If you wait until you have like 50 customers like I did and then switch everybody over, it's a rough transition. It truly is. And it took me like 3 or 4 months to make sure that I had all the details ironed out correctly. I had payment set up right. I had all their information in there right. So if you just started doing it ahead of time, then you don't have to worry about that. It's just, it's natural. It's what is part of your business, and you're not going to be slowed down by transitioning and switching everything over later. Missed subscription payments and late fees. Can you please explain your missed payment policy? Is a $100 charge separate from the initial clean or part of it? Oh, I wish I knew what video this came from. I do want to preface this. I don't know. I don't know which video this came from. I don't know if it's a new one or if it's an older one. And just know that you guys are watching this. I am making these videos real time. So as I grow in business, I do make changes. So if you were watching an older video, things might have changed, okay? Because I have changed. I've learned things in business. So without me knowing where this came from, I'm just gonna go ahead and I'm gonna explain my missed payment policy. If a customer is a recurring customer and they miss their payment, they just don't pay it, we pause their service. And let's say if their bill is $120 for the month, we pause their payment. And if they pay at the end of the month, we still charge them that $120, even though we didn't show up each week, because we are going to be scooping an entire month's worth of dog poop. Okay. I did have a $10 late charge that I was implementing onto the customer, but I wasn't really enforcing it like I should. And I was getting like pushback. So you can implement it. If you're going to do it, just do it and just have those conversations with people. Don't be scared to ask. Don't be afraid of what people are going to say. Just do it because they'll pay it. But say for instance, if this is a separate situation, like say they don't pay that month, they pay like 2 months later, they want to come back on schedule. I'm going to charge them for an initial cleaning fee because they probably haven't picked up the dog poop. So they're going to get charged with that initial cleaning fee to get back on route. So depending, it's kind of hard for me to explain it, but depending on when they decide they're going to come back, that's going to base what their price is going to be. If they pay their bill within that month, then I'm just charging them what their monthly rate would be, which is the $120, because that's what their original bill was going to be. But if they've waited 2 or 3 months, I cancel out that prior bill. And then whenever they decide to come back, then I assess how long has it been since the last cleaning. And that is the bill that they're going to get for that initial cleaning. And then they basically have to start back all over again. So they get the initial cleaning fee, and then they get the fee for getting back on route. I hope that makes sense. If you're watching this, do me a favor. If you could explain in the comments what this came from, possibly I can respond back in the next video. Or I could go back through and figure out where this came from and rewatch that video, but that's not going to happen right now during this recording because I have so much stuff to do. But thank you so much for your question. Collecting card info safely via Jabber. How do you get customers to feel comfortable entering their card information through Jabber text message? I just send them the link. I let them know I'm going to send you a secured link through Jabber for you to add your card on file. I will charge your card on file the first of every month. Only the last 4 digits of the card information is stored. That's what I say. And if anybody has any issues with it, I just get on the phone with them and I explain to them about the billing process. And here's an exception that I will do. This is what I'll let them know. I'll say, I understand that you feel uncomfortable. This is what I can do because you're new and you haven't used us before. Your first month, if you would like to pay by check, you can do that. Or I can accept cash from you. After the first month, if you feel comfortable with us and you want to move forward, we will put a card on file. If you still don't feel comfortable with us, I completely understand. I will go ahead and I will cancel your service. And that's it. I just let them know that. I'll go ahead and cancel your service if you don't feel comfortable with us moving forward. So I will give that grace period. But a lot of times getting on the phone with them so they can hear a true voice, and you want to make sure that you sound professional. You want to make sure that you make them feel comfortable. That's what your goal is to get them to put their card on file. So then you can provide service and you can get paid. So put on your customer service voice. My microphone setup. What microphone do I use? It sounds super clear. So the one I'm using right now, it's the DJI microphone. This is what it looks like in the inside. The little thing that's right here, it's actually plugged into my phone. There's another microphone. You have 2 different ports. You have your C adapter or whatever, and then this is the older iPhone one. And then this is what the actual microphone looks like. It clips onto you. And then this right here is like a pop filter that we would use if somebody has explosive P's or V's like I do. And then I carry it around in this bag. I bring this microphone with me everywhere. This is a really good one. And then also I have this other Shure mic over here for the other podcast setup. And I have a really nice board and I have all of that stuff, but I just like using this because it's so much easier for me to use. I don't know if Mr. Producer agrees and if he likes it, but you know, here's the thing, is when you add barriers to anything that you're trying to do, it just makes it more difficult. And I want to be able to produce the content. I want to be able to get it out. So sometimes I just have to make decisions, and maybe the audio isn't as crisp and clear as it would be coming from an actual podcast board and like that rich, Shure microphone. But luckily I have Mr. Producer that can clean all that up for me and make me sound as crisp and clear as possible. But even without Mr. Producer doing what he does with the audio, and then also May, which is my video editor, the sound still sounds very good. So definitely invest in one of these if you are looking to create content. We will include a link down below specifically to this microphone on my Amazon storefront. Do I want to scale big like Swoop Scoop? Do you want to grow like Swoop Scoop? What's your business plan growth, hiring, scaling, or staying small? Okay, well, for a while, I didn't really think that I could grow big because I had a lot of self-doubts. And I wanted to stay smaller because I felt like it was more manageable for me with the stress level and just everything that I had going on. But this is what I've quickly learned with being around other business owners, even at the convention that we were at. Staying small, it's a lot of pressure. It's a lot of pressure on the owner because everything's riding on me right now, and it is pretty exhausting. Even when I was gone, like there was nobody answering the messages or answering emails while I was gone. And so in order for me to be able to free up my time like I want to be able to continue to create content, to be able to grow the business, to be able to travel around like we did with my husband, I'm gonna have to scale. I'm gonna have to scale my business. And so that's what the plan is. I don't know if I will get as big as Swoop Scoop, but I know that it's possible. I know the possibilities there. I want to grow as large as the business possibly can. So yeah, that's what I'm headed towards. And even being at ScoopCon and seeing like Justin and Amanda Owen, and they had their operations manager there, you know, it was really cool to see their dynamic and see what Justin does in the business versus what the operation manager does. And the operations manager, Christopher, taken on a lot of what Justin used to do. And Justin doesn't have to do a lot now, which is awesome because now he can focus on coaching and he can focus on other things in the business. And that's what I want. I don't want to be out there scooping anymore. And when I'm staying small, I'm forced to be pulled out into the field. And I don't want to be out there anymore. I want to truly grow this business. So the long answer, because now I'm kind of rambling. Yeah, the goal is to grow large like Swoop Scoop. And what's the plan? Sell more, hire more, sell more, hire more. And then in the middle of those, policies and procedures, figuring stuff out, organizing things that break, and really develop people and grow people, because people is what's going to grow this business, because I can't grow it any further without other people. All right, I think that we answered everything. I appreciate your questions. Please keep them coming. This truly helps. We're trying to pull as many as we possibly can. I would like for these episodes to be a little bit longer, so I think we're going to pull more questions moving forward. So then that way these can be about 45 minutes. I would like for the podcast episodes to be about 45 minutes. And if you can you please, in the comments, let me know episode lengths. What do you prefer? Do you prefer a 30-minute, a 45-minute, or an hour? Let me know. And also, if there's somebody you want to see interviewed on the pod, please let me know. Leave that down in the comments so I can get them on. I appreciate you guys so much. And until next time, bye.